Peace. Peace, beautiful people. Let me turn this off. Alright, my name is Essence, and sister, and I'll be telling you why my people, black people globally, need to be self sufficient. It's a necessity for us to be self sufficient in order to control our future and our destiny as a people. In order to do that, you have to control three things, or we have to control three things: business and commerce, resources, and education. But before I get into that, I'm gonna ask y'all a couple questions. All right, how did y'all feel when you had to go to non-black stores to purchase supplies, food, and cleaning supplies when COVID hit? How do y'all feel when y'all are paid minimally for the work or the labor you produce? How do we feel when our humanity is constantly being tested, especially in this country, just because we're living here? Nonetheless, all those reasons are why we need to be self-sufficient. If we're self-sufficient, our business is booming. We are not codependent on anyone. We have our own resources, and we can educate our own children the way we see fit, the way that works best for us. Nonetheless, first I will talk about pre-civil rights era, specifically Tulsa, Oklahoma, aka Black Wall Street, post-civil rights era, and how our business and commerce was affected by all of it. Second thing I'm going to speak on is our resources and how we can use what we already have to obtain them, because that goes in with being self-sufficient. And the last thing I will talk about is why we need to educate our own children, because that is a necessity. Nevertheless, first thing, pre-civil rights era, specifically Black Wall Street. Okay, Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Business was booming. We had 600 businesses in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Okay, what we know as Black Wall Street. We had 21 churches, 21 restaurants. We had our own schools, our own law offices. We owned bus stops. We own actual buses. My bad. That is really effective. We were a thriving community. We were not codependent on anyone, as far as I know. We were not. In fact, that was taken from a post by Cleavon H. The money in our community circulated almost 1,000 times, close to a year in our business. Do you know how amazing that is? We wouldn't have to ask anyone for anything, depend on any grocery store at all, because we would have it. And that's what self-sufficiency is all about. Nevertheless, I'm going to go to the second part and talk about how business and commerce was affected post. But before that, pre-civil rights era, 80% of black households had two parents. Pre-civil rights era, two parents. Now we're going to talk about post-civil rights. Post-civil rights, we lost a lot of money. Of course, post-civil rights era happened in the 1960s, I believe 1964. It was desegregation, specifically in schools. That affected our children a lot in terms of physically. Nonetheless, the business part, we lost 80% of farmland. 80%, that's money. That's food we could provide for our own people. From the farm to the people living in the city. We don't have to depend on anyone except for ourselves. Nonetheless, what is really terrible was that we lost. Black businesses decreased after the Civil Rights era, after the Civil Rights Act was passed, by 90%. We lost 90% of our businesses. If you lose that much, if you even lose 50%, that's terrible. We lost 90%. That is crucial. We were dependent on ourselves. We were independent, and now we are codependent. That's why we need to be self-sufficient. We don't need to go to non-black people for our own stuff, to get food, stuff like that. Nevertheless, going next, I will briefly discuss resources. Dr. Claude Anderson, a educational and political figure, loosely paraphrasing from his Powernomics book, he said that black neighborhoods spend 95% of their annual disposable income with non-black people who don't live in their neighborhood. All those poppy stores, Asian stores, stuff like that, gone. Our money is gone. Those resources could be taken and used for education. That's programs, different things of that nature. Grocery stores. Okay. Third thing, education. Malcolm X said it best. A fool, loosely paraphrasing, you are a fool if you let your oppressor educate your children. They're indoctrinating our children. That's unacceptable. We have to be like the Black Panthers in terms of making our community schools, making them African-centered, learning our history, and not a white narrative. Nonetheless, after I talked about black commerce, business and commerce, resources and education, those three things we need to have control over to be a self-sufficient race, globally speaking. Only then will we be really